about tribute bands. Jeff Salem is here. This is brought to you by Krown Rust Control. It is 4790 Montrose Road in Niagara Falls. I'm Shane Christopher Neal. This is the Industry 45 show. So tribute bands are big, and we've touched on a couple of them already. So you also play in an AC/DC tribute band.
It's called the AC/DC Show Canada.
Right. And that's,
great show.
That's why you came down here, because you're rehearsing with them tonight? Is that
no, actually, I got
the Eagles.
The Eagles thing. Yeah. So you got to think of these three tributes that I'm doing. So you got the Eagles, you got the Journey, you got AC/DC. Three completely dynamic styles of playing.
Absolutely.
You know, all like you think of an AC/DC. Here's some things you'll never find in an AC/DC song: a cross stick on the snare, an open hi hat, busy bass drum patterns.
Right.
Stick twirls, not going to happen. Right?
So do you get yourself in that mode? And we talked about this, and we're going to show that video, by the way, of you and I behind your drum kit. But of the drummer that you're emulating, so if you're playing an AC/DC, you're thinking about Phil Rudd type thing, and because the style and like you said, the closed hi hat.
Exactly. And if I'm playing in a Carpenter's tribute, I'll put on a dress and think Karen Carpenter. But you know, the tribute things. You know what I think the next generation for tributes is doing a mashup. Like I'm thinking two bands that don't really work together. For example, Airhead. What would that be? You take
Air Supply
and played in the style of Motorhead.
See how I got onto that? Yeah.
Brittera.
Pantera and what?
In the style of Britney Spears.
Oh.
Yeah. Guarpenders.
You should do it.
What about Guarpenders? Yeah. What would that be?
The Carpenters and I don't know. Oh, see that?
See?
I think you're onto something.
See? AC Greasy.
AC/DC and
the style of Grease.
Yeah.
We get John Travolta, you know?
I think
this
Joe
would
should
work.
drum.
I think this would work.
He's in.
Yeah.
Remaining diverse and relevant. Can we talk about that? Does that it shows up in your book?
Diverse.
Yes.
Being diversified.
And relevant.
Yeah.
So how do you stay relevant?
Just being aware, being on top of everything, having an open mind.
That sounds like a Rich Redmond answer.
Yeah,
actually.
yes, a total Rich Redmond. It does.
Stay relevant anyway.
Yeah.
How about mistakes young kids make that you see coming up as drummers, and you know they want to get into the drumming world of
being professional?
Yes, being professional. I don't mean just playing a club. What mistakes do you see?
You know what? I got to tell you something. Here's the thing. I might get knocked on this, but I find a lot of the young generation of kids are too coddled. You know, they're too spoiled. Like for me, you know, I paid for my own drums. I took 3 buses to get the drum lessons. If I couldn't make the lesson, I had to call my teacher. Hey, I'm not feeling good. Or, you know, I worked in a grocery store. If I was going to be there, I had to phone and say why I'm not going to be there. Where now I have students in their late teens that their parents do everything for them. They have $5,000 drum sets. And so I find the younger generation has a difficult time to accept constructive criticism. That's the biggest thing, because I don't care what anyone says, you know, at some point in your career, if you're trying to make it as a professional, you will get yelled down at, just like the guy in the movie Whiplash. Maybe not as bad as that, maybe without any personal verbal abuse. And you got to learn to, okay, do I accept hearing this or not? And that's the problem I'm finding with a lot of young people. They kind of pull away from that. They can't accept, they don't want to listen to it. They're too cocky, they're too arrogant. I see it all the time, and they just crumble. They can't take the pressure of that. And I think it's just because how they're being brought up today with technology being spoiled. I see that quite a bit happen, and it's just really unfortunate. So that's a problem I'm seeing, not just drummers, but just general musicians, like of a younger generation. They have a hard time to like accept, you know, somebody giving them advice on something like that. They're set in their own way, but later in life, they'll learn, I find.
You'll learn.
They'll learn.
The end of this book talks a lot about business stuff too, and we touched on that. But one thing I didn't ask you was, how do you know your value or your price?
Very good.
See, I did read part of this book, but write the value or price, because it's like anything. How do you put a value on what you think you're worth?
Of course.
So how do you?
You know, and here's the thing. Like, I mean, obviously, starting out. The challenge, you're trying to build up a resume for yourself. Like, I mean, when somebody called me to do a first recording session, goes, sure, I'm there. Yeah. Oh, I'm actually going to get paid. Oh, how much? Oh, $50. That's cool. But obviously, years you put into it and stuff, and the value as an educator, stuff like that. Like, for example, for myself, my lesson rate over the years has increased because I've been just doing it for a long period of time. You put a value base.
More on your resume.
More on your resume, your experience, how long you've been doing. And here's the thing. I mean, sometimes people underprice, as opposed to over. You can always go high and kind of bring it down. There's only been a few times where I've actually made the mistake by default by really undercutting my price by accident. And someone goes, oh, well, we had a few more zeros in this, but I'm like, darn it.
I asked for $1 million to do this show, by the way.
Really?
I didn't get $1 million.
Oh, darn it.
I started there, though.
Yeah. So I mean, but one of the things too nowadays with so much access to the internet, if somebody's starting something, that's like there's so much research out there. Let's say somebody's opening a restaurant, goes, okay, I got this great appetizer. What am I going to put on the menu for? Yeah. $8.99 or $12.99? Right.
You just go look it up.
You're going to look around, just like what's my price of my drum lessons? Check what the competitors are doing. That's usually where people will start with. How much am I selling my hot sauce for? What are other people selling and stuff? Right. But
I'm selling this for $29.99.
You are. Well,
I know today.
Good for you. Good for you. I'm selling this for $39.99.
Roy Nickel, because the first time I met Roy was on Saturday. And I knew him as the drummer in April Wine.
Yep.
And all of a sudden he comes out stage and he just nails it. Like
I know his voice is great. So Peter Tong, the keyboard player, he's the one who kind of formed Epic Journey. He came to me and says, hey, let's start this project. And he heard about Roy, and Roy was in her radar to front and sing in her band, and now he's got the availability to do that. And I think he was in a Journey tribute many years ago, and because his schedule was too busy, but now we got to know him as a person. We're close friends. Goes, yeah, and he lives like out in Cornwall.
I was going to say by Montreal. He said, yeah.
So that's a little drive down, but he doesn't care. People, if you enjoy it, they come down for it. So I mean, he's quite talented. He plays guitar, plays keyboards. Yeah. We can be a one-man show and stuff. So we're looking forward to like a handful of shows coming up.
It's the 50th anniversary, right, for April Wine. I know. Yeah. So that's got to hinder maybe his availability, but
true. Yeah.
I mean, you guys are just great.
Yeah.
And that theater was sold out. I think I saw 2 seats.
Yeah. It was literally. And everyone in the band's really close friends. Like the bass player and I played together in a band in 1988. Like we go back. Paulo, we go back. 21 Guns. Yeah.
He told me that. That's right.
A long time ago. And it's just, and everyone's wonderful in the band. Good group of people. So.
And I'm looking forward to hearing Epic Eagles. I think it's going to be great. And Dean's solid. And
totally.
He's going to be on this show as well coming up. But good guy, great singer, and you got some really cool stuff.
Yeah, we're playing. We have a show out this way, well in the concert series Friday night, July 26th. That's a free show.
On the Canal stage,
yes. Yep, we're doing that.
Free is good.
Free is always good.
And you'll be selling your hot sauce?
I'll be selling whatever I can.
How do people reach you?
Okay, a couple different ways. Actually, I was at a point I had too many websites, so it's like, okay, got to trim that down. Obviously, through Facebook under my name, Jeff Salem. My hot sauce is Salems Lot with 2 T's.
How come? Why is it Salems Lot?
Because that's my last name, Lott. No, kidding. Last name Salem. So Lot with 2 T's. So Stephen King does not sue me. Salem's Lot Hot Sauces.com. But my drumming one is Drums in You, like INU.
Yeah, I wrote that down. Drumsinu.com.
Yeah, but you can read that a different way. It could be Drum Sin You.
Yeah.
Look at it that way.
Absolutely.
I brought a drum here actually.
Yeah.
I should
Would you like to play us something?
I should play out on it. Yeah.
Okay, and then we are going to, by the way, go to that interview that you and I did behind your drum kit.
Okay.
And we'll have you play this drum.
Yeah.
To us going to you behind your drum.
Do you want me to play the first 48 bars of Stairway to Heaven?
Could you do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
ready?
appreciate that. Yeah.
Here we go.
And
you're cutting into my part. Ready? Here we go. Begin of Stairway to Heaven.
Right. Get it? There's no drums.
Yeah.
Laugh. We have a studio audience. They're not even laughing.
Okay. What do you want to hear me play?
We need a new crowd.
Yeah. So
something Steve Smith would play. That's what I want to hear.
You want to hear Steve Smith?
I want to hear something Steve Smith. Yeah, it makes sense.
Okay. Well, one of the things I do on my drum to get kids playing, I do everything about food rhythms. What's your favorite food?
Sushi. I had it today for lunch too.
Sushi, huh?
Yep.
Sushi.
Sushi.
Cool. No, that's garlic.
Okay, so...
Hold on. Let me grab my drum.
Okay, all right. That's Jeff Salem. And once again, Krown Rust Control, 4790 Montrose Road. And he's going to put the toque on as well. Look at this.
Look at this. Huh?
Looks beautiful.
How is that?
Looks wonderful.
Okay.
So what are you going to play us?
YYZ by Rush. Okay, ready? Okay, here we go.
Jeff Salem, thank you so much, my friend.
You're very welcome.
All right, we'll catch up with you soon.
Sounds good. Thanks,
all right,
man.
Industry 45, I'm Shane Christopher Neal. Thanks for watching.
All right, SCN here with Jeff Salem, the drummer extraordinaire of Epic Journey.
How much I owe you for that?
You already paid me.
Thank you.
It was thousands, by the way. So this is your drum kit, and I want you to talk about this because maybe Ron can get a photo of this as well. But this is different than the drum kit you played in the other Journey tribute band, and maybe you want to talk about that.
Absolutely. So trying to be like more authentic to the way Steve Smith was approaching. He had 2 bass drums. And a lot of times guys will actually set up 2 bass drums. They don't put a pedal there. It's just there for decoration.
I don't put a pedal on either, by the way.
Well, there you go. That's a new way of playing, right? But my choice is I have a 20-inch bass drum, a 22-inch bass drum, Yamaha Live custom.
So why are they different though?
Just I want a different sound, different tone.
Yeah.
I do like having the 2 different sounds. Obviously, the 22 is the primary. This is what I'm using 90% of the time. That's more or less for endings, a couple songs that I add to that. So that was like, one addition to it, and adding an extra tom, 2 extra toms, an extra rack tom and a floor tom, more traditional as the setup that, Steve Smith.
Do you find it easier playing, because Journey has some epic fills and Faithfully in separate ways? Now, is it easier to play with this many drums?
Yeah, when you think Faithfully, for sure. I mean, going from a smaller kit to this, now I have to kind of rethink. I go, I have this extra drum. I got more cymbals and stuff there. But playing 2 bass drums, I haven't played 2 bass drums in at least 25 years. So it is a little more spacious.
And you're just 30 right now, aren't you?
Exactly, 29. So it does take a little bit of getting used to. I mean, obviously some of the more intricate stuff, if I had to play, if I had to do like a jazz gig or Brazilian, Latin gig, this would be a lot more challenging.
Right.
That. But I've always liked the tones. I've always tried to tune things in thirds on the drums. It's kind of.
And as far as Steve Smith, because to me, I mean, I love Dean, and Dean was a great drummer and is a great drummer, but really he copied parts that were created by Steve for the most part, or strangely.
I try to grab both the
Because
ideas. Yeah,
they have completely different styles. Dean's a rock drummer,
and Steve, I mean, he does everything very well, jazz, world music.
Right.
So I obviously, the learning curve is just basically start off by just learning the original part. Then you start going through the vault, you pull up stuff on YouTube and go, I like the way that Dean approached that.
Right.
For example, the end of Wheel in the Sky, playing double bass. On the recording, it's not like the original recording. So I do grab from both of those guys. Maybe the energy level and stuff might be more on the Dean side of it, but more authentic stuff I try to think like Steve Smith.
So let's talk real quick about some other setups. You play in an AC/DC tribute band, so it's not set up like this, I take it.
No, AC/DC Show Canada. So I still used a lot of cymbals because AC/DC primarily.
Four on the floor, a lot of crashing.
Yeah, one thing you will not find AC/DC music is definitely you will not find open hi-hat, cross stick, double bass, and busy bass drum pad.
Right.
So it's just meat and potatoes drumming like that, and then also the other project will be Epic Eagles, a tribute to Eagles. Pretty much this setup just remove this tom and that bass drum. So it's kind of like how Don Henley had his actual setup. Big drums, 12, 13, 14, 16 as well too, and doing that.
Do you think, so when you're playing Journey, are you thinking Steve Smith? When you're playing Eagles, do you think Don Henley? Do you think differently as a drummer?
You try to mold yourself into that character as well too. But more of it's not like trying to look like those guys, because I look neither like anyone. Me looking like Phil Rudd, Steve Smith? No, not quite. I get Roger Daltrey. Somebody told me Gary Busey. I'm like, what happened? Years ago, I saw Bon Jovi, and I went to Gary Busey. Then Nick Nolte is like, nah. Well, actually, you know what? Somebody told me Tony Hawk, and he's like a border. So
wow,
I don't know. But it's a sign of getting old and stuff like that as well too. But I do. You know what I think? I think more of them how they play the instrument dynamically. So obviously, I'm going to play AC/DC a lot harder and louder than say playing like Don Henley.
Right. Just different styles. So pretty soon he's going to get into a Phil Collins tribute band.
There you go. That would be it. So just a little quick thing.
Yes, your drumsticks. That's why I picked them up. Actually, so you have your own signature Big Fur.
There's a picture of my head on it. And the reason they put that originally on there was just to get a good sound across it.
Yeah, like smash your face.
And I get a freaking headache after the deal and stuff like that.
Jeff Salem. He's the master behind the kit here for Epic Journey and Epic Eagles and AC/DC Canada and probably everybody else there is.
There we go. Thanks for your time. All right. Sounds good. Cheers.